Nah, they won't.
Nicky Hawkins outside the London Stadium, West Ham Fan TV. Post-match reaction. Post-match point. He's coming back this season, by the way, but we're just sorting out a venue. First game of the season. Man City 2, West Ham 0. It was. It weren't a great showing, to be honest with you. There's a few bones I want to pick from this one, but that weren't great.
Yeah, it wasn't great. You always want to start the season on a high, but I think some of the reactions I've seen out here, I think from some of the people walking past, I think it's a bit embarrassing, to be fair. Look, we're playing Man City. Yes, I know we shouldn't show them too much respect, but they're going to have the football. Look at the stats, 74%. But then look, they only had 2 shots on target all game. We had 1. Difference is they've taken their 2 and we haven't. You know, there's no from the start, the first 5 minutes we showed a bit of intensity. We had a chance, you know, header just over, and then after that they just took control of the game. I know you sitting next to me and saying you're bored of watching that. I mean, how can you get bored of watching that when you're winning week in, week out, getting 90 odd points a season? You got Haaland at top, you're winning titles. You know, yes, it's boring for us because we can't get the ball, but football's about keeping the ball and scoring goals and winning games. So
it's not even when you look at last season, we competed against them. And that's the biggest problem today. That first 5 minutes we were up for it. What does Edison do? Go down with an injury. Kills the game. Yeah. And then after that we didn't compete. We didn't compete for 45 minutes after that. And that's the problem. You can play against these sides. Yes, they're good players. Yes, they're good on the ball. They're good technically. They can punish you. But if you compete, it makes it hard for them.
Yeah, and that's the difference. People like Fornals today running about, Lanzini running about, Souček running about. They're not doing nothing. They're not doing anything to create anything. And Antonio, you know, they're knocking it over the top to him. He looked half-arsed at times, and whether he was injured and you know Scamacca's not fully fit to start, but
we had no width the entire game. Fornals was obsolete. Lanzini useless. Souček first half useless. Bowen didn't even realise he was playing until about the 44th minute.
Yeah. I said the same to Nicky. I didn't even realise Bowen was on the pitch.
Probably the worst game I've seen him play in about a year. Yeah. It felt the whole game. It just felt like pre-season still, didn't it?
Yeah.
And I said this before, that I just don't think we're ready for the season. I think fitness isn't quite there. That sharpness.
I don't think anyone's fitness is quite there. I don't think anyone's. If you look at the results over the past few days, been a few shockers, been a few things, but it's very concerned. I'm quite concerned in how unfit and unready we look. I think we look rusty. I don't think we look. There was no desire. And one of the things that I think I see in this game today, which I think, don't get me wrong, we'll talk about Scamacca a bit later because I think he was a shining star. But the thing that concerned me is you've got to go to Man City. You're not going to outplay Man City. You're not going to be able to play football. They're going to have the ball for 75% of the time. You've got to come up with something. Last season here, we come up with something. Win them second balls, be strong on the ball, be physical. We couldn't do that today. We will be getting out muscle.
I don't think we won a header in the first half hour.
Souček was well off of his game. And Bowen, as I said, like I said to him, we put one down the wing to him. Last season, he was fucking rapid. And I know you're not quite there on the first game of the season, but he looked like me running down the wing. Yeah. He looked so slow, so sluggish. And I'm not saying that we're not going to get sharper. I'm not going to say we're not going to get, you know, into our rhythm. We didn't get embarrassed today, which I think it was more down to Man City than us, to be quite honest with you. I think if they wanted to turn the screw a bit more, I think they could have. It spent a lot of time knocking it around the defence. But there was no plan. There was no plan.
The thing is, mate, I'll be more concerned if we play like that against Forest, Brighton and Villa. If we play like that against M3, I'll be more concerned. With teams like Man City, as you said, they're going to have the ball. You're going to chase shadows. It's hot out there, you know. We haven't had a great pre-season. You know, City, including the Charity Shield, played 3 games in pre-season, and then they look like that today. Imagine them in 5-10 games time, what they're going to be like.
Mate, I think Pep played a blinder with what they've done pre-season. He knew the players were tired after a long season and a half, especially the players that play international football, which they've got a lot of.
And this is what I've been saying all pre-season. People say about pre-season this, pre-season that, I want to play here, I want to play there. The less games, the better.
Exactly.
Get them on the training ground.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And that's what I think he's done. He's played a blinder, that he's given them players that extra rest, that extra time off, where especially with the World Cup coming up, they'll see the benefit of that come towards the end of the season. We look as knackered now as we did the end of last season.
This is a big transition season for City because of the way they play, because they've got to now adapt to having Haaland there. They're not used to playing with a striker like that up front. They haven't had it for a couple of seasons. And you see the way they just adapt. Haaland's always going to be on the shoulder. He's got pace, he's strength. You look at their second goal. He's through one-on-one. You know what was going to happen. You knew what was going to happen. He's going to pull it around Areola and bang, game's over. Yeah. And as I said, they had 2 shots on target all game and they've scored both and they've won 2-0.
Do you know, I think it was a real shame we couldn't get Cornet in the game today, because I think he would have made a big difference. His pace, his directness, his ability on the ball. I think he's the sort of player we were missing, because like you said, when you do look at Fornals or Lanzini in that, they just don't drive the ball forward enough. And I think Cornet will make a big difference to give this team a lift.
I heard some bloke as it was coming out slating Declan Rice, saying that like it wasn't a captain's performance. He should be pushing the team forward and that. And I think to myself, if I could pick anything out of today's game, him breaking up the play and trying to get forward was the only thing I can really say.
Out the back four.
Yeah.
How many times he had to keep dropping back into the box, putting in tackles where they was getting through, and going back on the attack. He was winning the ball and starting the attacks back up. He was one of our better players.
I mean, David Moyes already knows we need more players, but I think today he might show the board and Rob Newman, whoever is involved, that we do need to get bodies in. We definitely need cover at left back. We need a player to come in and start left back, because Creswell's been a great servant, and I don't want to slate him too much, but you could see today he's off the pace. He's always out of position. And I know it was a makeshift back four with Ben Johnson coming in at centre back. He did play well. He did play well. I can't knock Ben Johnson today.
But I think what don't help Creswell is he's got no support down that left side. Fornals, again, as I said, useless today. Absolutely, everywhere he played, everything he done, he didn't do anything right.
I mean, where you sit down, you probably see it. I mean, Soufal was more interested in trying to wind Grealish up than getting involved in the game.
But he was still better than some of the other players in front of him. That's the thing.
But that weren't hard today, Scott. I think I got closer to Man City players, and I was sitting in 2-2-9.
He had a good battle with Grealish. He enjoys that battle with Grealish. You see it at the end. They enjoy battling against each other.
But when you're battling against Grealish, is just going to stand off. You get the ball, he flicks it round you. He's winding Soufal up.
But he didn't get round him that often. And again, where was the help? He had no support. He was doubled up on loads of times because Bowen wasn't in the game. And this is the problem. Too many attacking players are not doing enough when they're on the ball, and they're not covering defensively. As I said, Fornals, Bowen, the pair of them. We had no width for 90 minutes. I'll tell you, we had a bit of width when Ben Rama come on in the second half. Yeah. And then what do we do? Our last 2 substitutions, mate, bring on another 2 centre midfielders and then end the game with 4 centre midfielders playing.
I mean, look, Scamacca come on today, and I thought he looked good. His movement, he was in the box. You know, he won a few headers. He had that header. I know it was offside, but it was a great save from the goalkeeper as well. But he was in that position, and that's what we want.
He was in the positions, and this is another thing that starts concerning me about that. Is he gets in them positions, he gets the ball out, he holds the ball up, he wins a flick on, he gets in the box, and the delivery is subpar, substandard, can't beat the first man. Get out in that trade. They need. If I was Moisey tomorrow, right, and I mean this with the greatest. I know it's Man City, and I'm not going to overreact. I'm not. I wasn't expecting anything but a loss really today. I was hoping that we would get a draw or beat them just because we came here last season. Had a good. The intensity wasn't there. Yeah. They need to get out on that training field tomorrow. Or Monday, or it is Monday tomorrow, but Tuesday or whatever, and get working. Just work, put it in, make them fucking sick, because some of them, I don't know whether it's because they haven't put in, because of the standard of the opposition we played in pre-season, but a couple of them just wasn't ready, and we need them ready. We need them, the desire and all that. And I think this was forecast a little bit by Moyes last season at Brighton when we didn't put the intensity in, and he said they was fucking bad out there today, and if we start like that next season, we'll be battling the wrong end of the field.
That's why I'm saying they need to get the next 3 games back. Nottingham Forest, Brighton and Villa.
Yeah,
they're the 3 games where you can sit back and say, right, if we play like that against them and we don't get no points, then you can start questioning Moyes, the tactics, the team. But like today, these are one of these games. If you come here and get a point, we're all buzzing. If you get a win, you're over the moon. But when you watch the way City play and the way they knock it about, and you're chasing that ball for 90 minutes, it's hard work.
I know it's hard work, but It's not the fact that you're chasing the ball. You're going to be chasing the ball. It's winning them seconds.
But this is the difference. This is the difference between teams like us, Liverpool, and I'll even put Tottenham in that bracket now as well. We haven't got players that can get the ball and make things happen. You know, it's all good getting the ball, looking up, knocking it over the top. Someone runs, and then the crowd clap because he's tried. That ain't good enough. You need someone to get on that ball in the middle, like Phil Foden today. Didn't even notice Phil Foden. You didn't have to because he was that good. Just the things he done on and off the ball. That's what world-class players do.
Yeah, and that's it. It's when you haven't got the ball, it's what you do when you've got it. And today, when we got the ball, we didn't do enough.
That's why we need that creator in the middle behind the striker.
And the thing is, I thought that spell after half-time, once Antonio went off, Scamacca come on, it was a bright spell. You know, their goal come against the run of play.
Didn't it?
Yeah, but their goal come against the run of play. You know, that's how you got to look at it, because the change lifted us. We needed that change. The only reason I think Antonio actually come out the second half is because of the way the new substitution rules go, that you have to make the 5 subs within 3 sort of windows. Yeah. And obviously the early injury to Fabianski used up one of them, but for me, I think Antonio should have gone off at half time. I don't think we've done him any good with the injury that he looks like he's picked. He hobbled back onto the pitch at half time. That's the only thing I'm going to criticise.
I was very surprised at half time that he kept it the way it was, because it wasn't good. It wasn't good. Then there was I could see nothing.
But the intensity did lift, and I think if before Scamacca come on, we got into the game, and that's the thing. If maybe changing Antonio, sticking Bowen up front, bringing on a Benrahma for argument's sake at half time, because Antonio was knackered. You know, you see that injury was playing on him. He couldn't move. The intensity is then still there. You've still got someone up front who's fit and who can move. And then you're going 70 minutes, 65 minutes.
Bowen was shit, mate. I'm sorry, but he was shit.
He still would have put more in than an injured Antonio.
I don't expect him to be shit like that for the rest of the season. But I think Antonio could have a hard time getting. If Scamacca lives up to the potential we saw today, it's going to be hard for him to get in, because when he come on, I mean, he's passing. You know, and the way he can switch things up, he put a ball out to the wing, get into the box.
But you see, when he was on the wing, he played that ball back into, I think it was Johnson,
and he was
went straight in the box. Next ball went out wide, balls into the box.
But that's what strikers do,
and that's it.
And that's what we've been missing.
That's why he's going to need a good play for him to link up with, and to be able to do that quickly, to be on the same page.
That's it. But as Nicky pointed out, the delivery needs to be on point. Yes. You know, the best delivery we put into the box was the header that he was offside for. You know, but if we're going to get that right sooner rather than later, you know.
As I said, look, we've got to look at the next 3 games. They're teams that they're winnable games.
Yep.
You know, so if after in the next 3 games, if we've got 6 points, 7 points, 9 points would be unbelievable. But then you can start judging. But if we don't pick up points and we're still playing that bad and players still look off, then there has to be questions, not only with the players but the coaching staff. David Moyes, why are they not that fit? Why are they looking so tired?
Yeah. Regardless, get the job done in the transfer window. Whatever happens at Nottingham Forest, we have to strengthen. We have to bring in what we need. And when that transfer window closes, no excuses to not get what we need, because we know we're going to have another season. Thursday, Sunday. We need the strength in depth, and we need to improve key positions.
This is the most games I think we've ever played by the time we get to September. Be the most games we've ever played since we've been in the Premier League.
Well, there's only 16 Premier League games in there up until the World Cup.
Yeah.
So obviously there's going to be Europe games in there as well, and League Cup, but 16 Premier League games. You know, after 16 Premier League games, you could find yourself sort of near the bottom of the table if you not start picking up points early. You know, but positives, we're only 3 points off top. Cheer up.
Yeah.
3 points off the title, mate.
I agree. There's not much to say about today's performance. You know, it is what it is. Haaland's was the difference today, and that's what top quality forwards do. If we'd have got him in a bit earlier, it might have been a little bit different, but it is what it is. I'll start making judgments next week.
But even that's why yesterday I didn't go on Twitter and start laughing at Jesse Lingard having a bad game for Nottingham Forest, because you know what's going to happen. Next week he's going to be up for it so much. So let's just go there, let's be professional. And what I see of Nottingham Forest last night on Match of the Day, they didn't look all that.
No.
You know, but then again, we didn't look all that today. So it's got the makings to be either the shittest game ever or the best game. But Antonio, ex-Nottingham Forest player, he's going to be up for that game.
Exactly, that's the thing. They're going to be up for that game because it's their first home game back in the Premier League.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult, but we should. That spell in that early second half fills me with a bit more confidence.
Yeah, we need to go to Forest next week and we need to silence their fans in the first 5 minutes. We need to make something happen.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
early goal, whatever, crunching tackle, put one on whoever. You know, that's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. But look, it's going to be a long old season. It's the first game. You know, we were spoilt last year winning at Newcastle.
Yeah.
You know, so we don't usually do well opening days.
Let's see.
And we always seem to play the fucking top 4 teams.
Yeah, I know.
We always play a top 4 team. I think it was only last year that we played Newcastle.
Yeah, we'll see. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of Post-Match Reaction. Go and check out all the fan cams that have just gone up. By the time you see this, they'll have already been up. Nothing else left to say?
No.
Just one thing left to say?
Yeah.
Come on, you ones.